Hello all, I'm Dr. Shahin. In the last class, I taught you T.S. Eliot's theory of impersonality and Eliot's meaning of tradition and the role of individual talent in it. Today, I will teach you T.S. Eliot's function of criticism and who is a perfect critic according to T.S. Eliot. उससे पहले मैं आपको बोलना चाहूँगी कि आप मेरा डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स चेक कर सकते हैं। वहाँ पे मैं बहुत सारे इंग्लिश लिटरेचर का मैंने लेक्चर शेयर कर दिया है, पेपर 1 का भी, जिसमें आपका रिसर्च एप्टीट्यूड, टीचिंग एप्टीट्यूड, काफ़ी लेक्चर्स आपको वहाँ से मिलेगा। काफ़ी सिंपल लैंग्वेज में मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया है, सो यू विल गेट बेनिफिट फ्रॉम ऑल दोज लेक्चर्स। नाउ आई कम टू द टॉपिक, द फंक्शन ऑफ क्रिटिसिज्म अकॉर्डिंग टू T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot, in his essay, The Function of Criticism, talks about the basic concept of literary criticism and its function. He says that the major function of criticism is an objective and impersonal commentation and exposition of works of art by means of written words. Eliot believes that the true criticism is a system of scientific inquiry into the essential spirit of a work of art. Eliot believes that the true criticism is a system of scientific inquiry into the essential spirit of a work of art. Understand? Eliot is of the view that the function of the critic is to see a work of art as it is. Eliot says that the function of a critic is to see a work of art as it is and to present before the reader what he sees and finds in it. Understand? So thus criticism are disinterested exercise of intelligence bearing on a work of art. A good critic must aim at the clear elucidation of works of art and correction of taste. You must be familiar with this theory, elucidation of works of art and the correction of taste, which is by T.S. Eliot, who says that elucidation of works of art and correction of taste is required in the criticism, which refers to make the meaning clear by explaining them. Elucidation is needed to clear the confusion. Elucidation is needed to clear the confusion because most of the readers are prone to confuse issues implied in a work of art. In the same way, correction of taste is needed because every critical effort must act as a kind of cog regulating the rate of change in literary taste. T.S. Eliot further says that the most important critic of a creative artist is the author himself. Eliot believes that the most important critic of a creative artist is the author himself. So he has emphasized the importance of the author in evaluating a work of art. Understood? He says that no author can produce a great literary work if he doesn't have an inherent critical faculty in himself. Eliot says that no author can produce or he doesn't have when he doesn't have an inherent critical faculty in himself. So Eliot says, I maintain even that the criticism implied by a trained and skilled writer on his own work is the most vital, the highest kind of criticism, and the same creative writers some creative writers are superior to others because their critical faculty is superior. Eliot says that some of the writers, the creative writers, are superior to others because their critical faculty is superior. So now I tell you who is a perfect critic according to T.S. Eliot. According to T.S. Eliot, a perfect critic performs two basic functions. According to T.S. Eliot, a perfect critic performs two basic functions: elucidation of work of art under his review and correction of taste. Elucidation of work of art under his review and correction of taste. So a perfect critic must possess a highly trained mind and refined literary taste. Eliot believes that a perfect critic must possess a highly trained mind and refined literary taste to be able to perform these basic functions. Understand? So he must possess a disciplined and analytical mind to elucidate a work of art through comparison and analysis. Understand? So, and his judgments must be balanced and impartial, unaffected by any kind of bias or prejudice. Honest criticism and sensitive appreciation is directed not upon the poetry but upon the not upon the poet but upon the poetry. What Eliot says, when I taught you the theory of impersonality, where he said poetry is not a turning loose of emotion but an escape from emotion. Poetry is not the expression of personality but it is an escape from personality. So he says that a perfect critic must not belong to any particular literary school or movement. He must make disinterested endeavor to know the propagate the best that is known and thought in the world. He must be able to refrain from any prejudices or an excessive quest for sources, influences, biasness, or and any extraneous information. He must be able to bring permanent artistic values to bear upon contemporary art. He must have the moral courage to reject the wrong and uphold the true and genuine element in a work of art. For him, a work of art must be complete in itself. Eliot says that a perfect critic should not merely be a technical expert but also the whole man, a man with convictions and principles and of knowledge and experience of life. So a good critic is that who not merely describes or summarizes a work of art but also analyzes or evaluates it. Eliot says that a good critic is that who not merely describes or summarizes the work of art but also analyzes and evaluates it. The role of a perfect critic is to help the reader interpret the text and understand its significance by providing an informed and well-argued opinion. Understand? So a good text cannot be produced by having a particular aim in mind. The writer thus doesn't write consciously but instead spontaneously. So critics are humans. Critics are humans and thus can have different opinions and ideas to respond to the literary text. So the ultimate aim of every critic should be to enlighten the mind of the reader through the text. So Eliot says that the ultimate aim of every critic should be to enlighten the mind of the reader through the text. So this is the theory according to T.S. Eliot. I taught you who is a perfect critic and the function of criticism. Thanks for today. We meet in the next class.